Hey guys, it's Amy with aim.to.plan, and today is going to be a little bit of a different video because I am finally ready to show off my planner center and the spaces where I kind of store all of my planner supplies. And so just a sneak preview into what this looks like in my home binder. You're gonna get to see some of this stuff. This is actually the third part of my planner system, and where I kind of have all of my craft supplies. And so if you're interested in seeing what my planner space looks like, I don't have a dedicated craft room, so we're gonna be going to several different areas of my house. Stay tuned. So this is my first area. This is basically what I consider the first part of my planner center. And you can see here that it basically just has multiple shelves. Um, it, this is a built-in storage entertainment unit that we no longer use for our TV. It did come originally with 3 shelves, and I ended up adding 2 more shelves in here just to get some more space. So this is the first part of it. You can see here that basically it's right in front of my couch. This is one of the places right here on this little cushion right here where I pretty much do a lot of my planning. So I sit here and put my planner right here and just kind of have all of my supplies right here in this space. So let's walk through all the stuff here, starting at the top. Okay, so this very top shelf, as you can see, it's pretty much discs. I do have them stored in a couple of different containers, as you can see here. So let me move a little bit closer so you can see some of this stuff. But this is the way that I just prefer to store them. This is a box that I got from the Dollar Tree for $1, obviously. And I just put my metal discs in here, and I just really love this. They're starting to fall over. Some of them are a little bit, and so I have decided, and I have already purchased several that's being shipped to me, and so I'll eventually have enough just to kind of like set all the way across here, and I can replace these jars here. These jars are just some other discs, some extra metal discs that I have in there, and then in the very back you can see like they're basically plastic bags that I have just been using as a temporary storage for my plastic discs. So that's just how it's set up back there. And I do not necessarily access my discs that often, so that's why it's on the very top shelf. But basically, just so you can show you what it looks like, I climb on my couch. This is what I do: climb on my couch, and on the arm, and just kind of get up here, so that way I don't have to have a ladder or anything else. I just get up here just to get my discs. And so that's the first shelf. This shelf right here, right below it, are all of my past planners. They are in chronological order, basically. And so here, this is super fun. This is one of the oldest planners that I have. It's actually from 2003. Actually, I have a couple of that are older. I have not put them in here yet. But basically, this is a 2003 planner. It's just one of those undated, not undated, but like just like one of those planners that you get from your school. So I got this from my undergrad school. They were just giving away free dividers, and so this is actually part of my last year in undergrad was that particular planner. All right, and then I have this other planner in here, just kind of tucked in here, which I don't even know what this is. So 2011, a Mead planner. This is like a half letter size, and I mean, again, pretty old. Let me know if you're interested in a flip through of those two. I can certainly do that. They're just here. I don't know why I put them in here and not any of my others, but I just had those two, and I was just like, when I was setting this up, I decided that they should go there. So that's that. Then these two right here, you can see that they have coordinating discs, right? So they're on the black and gold. I started with the Happy Planner when I had my toddler. She's 3 now, and she was born in January of 2017. And so I picked up the Happy Planner system as a memory keeping system for her. I've always been in Classic for her memory books. These 2 books are the 2 volumes for 2017, and then these 2 are for 2018. Right, and then 2019, I saved just about everything, like in terms of scrap paper and like just artwork, because this is when she was 2, and so she's like drawing more and doing things like that. And so I have 4 that are just for 2019, and then already for 2020, I'm in 2. And so I'll probably end up with like 6. I don't even know. I need to be better in terms of, this is why I couldn't scrapbook, because I try to keep everything. And so these are just 2017, 18, 19, and 20 so far. And again, it's only like May, right? And so this is kind of where we are in terms of past planners. I don't, generally speaking, and you might just find this shocking, I don't generally keep my catch-all planner. I only keep like the memory books. And again, this is why it's kind of surprising that I have these two. I don't even know why I kept them. Those are my personal planners from before the baby was born, like before I was married, when I was an undergrad. So anyway, that's kind of what's right here, right? And then this box right here, which is the other part of this second shelf, are just covers. And so I don't have them on disc. They're just basically covers that I stick into the box. And as I need covers, I just go in here and just kind of flip through. I just scoot in and just kind of take a peek to see what I've got. And you can see I have just a ton of covers. This is like the full box, basically, of covers. And so that's what's on this second shelf. So I'm moving down to the third shelf. Like, we started up here with the discs, and then like past planners with covers, and then this shelf I just actually reorganized in my latest like spring cleaning planner cleaning spree. And so this is a little bit different than some previous photos that I've posted of my planner center, but I did convert this entire shelf to basically be accessories, planner accessories. And so I have 2 deluxe covers here that are still in the box. I bought this fairly recently in one of the Happy Planner flash sales. And so I had originally like given away, sold my other deluxe covers, but then I was just like, maybe I'll eventually go back to it. So I decided to go ahead and pick up 2. Could not resist the good deal that they had for that. Here are my binding covers. These are the ones that I've been using for different projects, like my washi boards. I'm planning to make some like full-size top tab dividers with these, kind of like the Planner Babe style, but I want to create like the first and second tab, so instead of using a bookmark I can use a full page. And so I have got like probably just a few more sheets to go with that. This box right here are more covers, so that box up there, covers. This box right here, more covers. So I do have right here in the very front the May planner, and this is just kind of where I have it because it doesn't fit elsewhere on my in the system. And then I have 2 other Webster's pages covers, and I thought they would go here just because they go with the deluxe covers kind of. And then in the back are just more covers, right? So 2 boxes of covers basically. Then right here, I have 3 boxes. These boxes I got from the Dollar Tree, and they're magazine files, and I love them. They're just super, super cute. Basically, what I have in there are, again, accessories. So this one, I'll pull this one out. This is actually the one that, generally speaking, I carry around with me to use. And so this box has my little washi board book with, you know, all the different washi samples that I've got kind of laid out. And the other thing that's in here is my sticker book, the DIY sticker book that I've made with all the different stickers, just from different companies, including the Happy Planner, but mostly like other Happy Planner, non-Happy Planner, all sorts of different stickers. And so it's on basically the Target Student Planner discs with that cover, and I just DIY'd that sticker book together. And then the other thing that I put in here, this is just awaiting a project. I'm actually putting together a special project for my crafts, and so this book is going to be my crafts book. And what I've got in here right now are all of my stickers, sorry, not stickers, sticky notes that I put together in a previous video. And so the three kind of sets of sticky notes I put on this little crafts project book that I'm creating for that. And the other thing I have in here is a pencil pouch, and in here is actually all the receipts for planner goodies that I've purchased, and I put all my receipts in there just in case I decide to return something. I have it all kind of together. So all of that is in that one box, right? So all of the stuff goes into that one box. This box right here are all of my bookmarks and dividers and envelopes. And so I don't really use this box. It's just kind of tucked away, but basically it's all the kind of bookmarks and these dry erase boards, this Planner Babe board, some laminated sheets that I made, and then I have envelopes in here, right? Some Happy Planner, again, some Happy Planner, some not. These are the envelopes right here that I use for my cash envelope system, and I bought enough to have extra, and so that goes on that shelf. And then this last one are pocket folders. Now, I do not use pocket folders basically ever, and so I have so many pocket folders. Again, mostly Happy Planner, but some other ones that are just pocket folders that are poly that I convert into pocket folders. I just don't use them that often, so they go into the box. They go in the very back, just because it has to be tucked back there. It doesn't slide right out of the shelf. And then my dividers go here, and then my box with my stickers and my washi. This box actually travels with me when I plan around the house, and so that box is the one that kind of moves with me. And that's that shelf. Okay, so now I'm actually on the ground, able to reach everything, and like, just so you can see, like, I can actually reach this, and that's about, I mean, I can touch this shelf but not really pull it down, right? So these top two shelves with my discs and my past planners, I have to kind of step up to get to those, but everything here is within reach for me, and so I can reach all of these accessories. And then this shelf is pretty much all of the current notebooks and planners that I'm using, as well as a couple of future planners. So here's a big memory keeping planner. I've never used big. I just purchased this one. I actually purchased a couple and ended up giving several away just because I don't use the big size. But I did keep one. I'm thinking about considering this for my work planner next academic year. I just don't know. This one is a future planner. This is the 18-month that starts in July, the monthly layout. This one is the Teresa Collins guided journal, which I've never used, but I'm thinking about using it starting in May. Well, not really even in May, just June and July. This one is a DIY book of like Sudoku puzzles that I put together. Right, so I've just kind of punched out the pages and put Sudoku pages in here, and I just pull it off and play a puzzle or two whenever we're just kind of sitting here watching TV. This one is pretty much like title pages. It's just like literally what we've got in here are like title pages and like perpetual calendars. That's all that's in here. And I have so many, like enough planners to be able to put together basically an entire book of that. Right, so that's there. And then this one is the Faith 18-month planner. I love this planner. I just can't use the weekly pages. I'm testing out the May, and right now not really loving it, so I don't really know. All right, so this is my social media planner, a non-happy planner, vertical layout that I've been using for social media planning. All right, this one is my Faith planner. Outdated horizontal pages are in here, and so I just pull out pages as I need to. This one is volume 1 of my home binder, and then this one is Sophia's art journal. It's basically like all of these kind of composition notebook papers that I cut out of the composition notebook and just punch in here. And then there's a couple of like coloring sheets. In the very back I have like some miscellaneous kind of like happy planner pages that I like, maybe I skipped a week or something like that, so I put them back here. And every once in a while I might just need one to like cover up some mistakes or something like that, so I put that there. Right, this one I actually literally just made yesterday, but this was part of this second volume right here, but the school notes were getting to be a little bit too hefty combined with this system, and so I went ahead and put all the school notes here by itself. This is basically a reference notebook of like her like handbook for her daycare, and just like notes that they send home from school, like field trips, or just kind of notes from the teacher, and I just kind of store them here just as a reference and for memory more so than anything. And then this last one is the second volume. Like this one is the first, and then this one is the second one. And I walked through this in a previous video, but basically this is like all the stuff that's reference material, and this one is the new school reference book. And this one is kind of a transformer. It is a transformer planner with all the kind of active lists that I'm still working on. So it has travel, it has like all the TV shows that we're kind of watching. And so it's not something that I have to reference like in a planner kind of format, but it's just lists that I kind of put there, right? And then in this box are all of my mini and micro stuff. And I'll put this down so you can kind of, or kind of tilt it like this. And I also have in here my half letter A5 size stuff. And so I just kind of toss them in here. And so just so I can kind of tuck it in there. But basically, you know, like all my micros, right? Like here's like all like my mini, like old, outdated weekly pages. And then this one is just like not happy planner. Basically a cover that I trimmed down to size with like papers from like legal pads or like junior pads that I cut down and punched down to size, right? So just so I can have like scratch paper to write on. All right, and so that's all there, right? Again, like I'm a classic fan if you haven't noticed. So basically all the things that I have here are going to be for classic. This is all the stuff smaller than classic, and here's the one thing that's bigger than classic. That's the big size. That's pretty much it. Everything else is classic. Okay, so that's that shelf. This is all the stuff that I use regularly. So all the planners that I'm currently using or in the future going to be using, it goes here. The one thing that's not up here is my actual current planner, which sits on like wherever I'm planning. It's not really my desk, but like I move that around with me on a regular basis. Okay. Underneath that, basically scrapbook paper. This is where I store like full size, like 12 by 12 sheets of scrapbook paper. And I'll show you in a few minutes like where I store like scraps of scrapbook paper that goes in a separate spot. So these are all like the full size, hasn't been cut, hasn't been punched out. Those are these sheets. And then I have my large punch, which is as of now the only one I own. I didn't have a classic. I have an arc punch that I store with some of my overflow stuff, but this is the only happy planner punch that I own. All right. And then we're getting to the very bottom. Here is like the very bottom, like usually right here in this space, I'll like leave my planner. It actually sits right here on this corner right here or on top of the printer. And so I'll normally just have my planner kind of sitting out here or sitting right here on top of this box, and it kind of slides in. And I'll show you what that looks like with like classic size disc, kind of slides in like that, right? And so I'll have it sitting there usually, or like carrying it around with me, just depending on like whether I'm using it right that second or not. This box right here is a super cute like hat box. I got this at my wedding several years ago. I don't like, it was a gift, so I have no idea where she got it. But basically this box is full of pins. Like it's a gigantic box full of pins. And so I'll just lift it up so you can kind of see it. It's basically pins. Crazy. I organize them basically by type, and I put them in Ziploc bags, and I pretty much just tuck them in like that. It's kind of my DIY divider system for my pins. So I have pins, Sharpies, some crayons in there, right? This bag right here is all of my markers. And so this bag pretty much has, let's see, it has Crayola Super Tips, it has my Tumbos, it has some other watercolor brush pens that don't really, they're too long to fit into the hat box, and so they go into this bag because this bag is a little bit longer, and so it fits in a little bit easier, right? So that's kind of what it looks like down there. All right, and I left this in here because otherwise it was just kind of flopping around. And then this bag right here is just colored pencils, right? And so I have some regular colored pencils as well as watercolor colored pencils, right? And so again, those are a little bit too long to fit into the hat box over here, and so I had to store them separately. So I think this is super cute. I get that the pattern does not match the damask of the hat box, but I'm actually more of a fan with the black and white and the hot pink. So if I could find a black and white striped box, with like a hot pink lid. I would love that, right? So I'll have to zip that up later. I can't do that one-handed, I don't think, right? And so then right in front of that are my two little traveling cases. So basically this right here are the two kind of jars that I carry around with me. I guess I can use a cup, but I don't know. I don't use these jars for anything else, so I just thought it would work for carrying around my supplies. And so I have pens, pencils, I have my X-Acto knife, scissors, ruler, right, it's just extra pens, that kind of thing in this one. And then this one, glue, whiteout, chapstick, because you always have to have that, and then like paper clips, which I don't really use these regularly, but it helps to kind of lift out the glue sticks and the whiteout so it's not like sitting all the way on the bottom. So that's what's in that. All right, and then in front of that's pretty much just my two coasters that I put my coffee and my water on, and then I have my perpetual calendar, which I have not changed the date in forever. Look how long this has been. Oh my goodness. Okay, so every once in a while I'll change this, but like it's been, sometimes it sits here for like a month and I haven't changed it, you know. So anyway, it just sits here or somewhere like, you know, cool. All right, so that is this setup right here for the first part of my planner center. Okay, so we are now going to be walking through the second half of my planner center. So you can kind of see here, this is the shelf that I pretty much just went over, right? And then on the side of that, between this column right here and like just basically my kitchen, is this shelf that I purchased. Now I love this shelf because it fits in the spot perfectly. I wasn't sure it would fit, but it does, and I love it. And it's at the right height, so that way I can set my scanner right on top, my printer scanner on top, and still have kind of like enough of a shelf. Like it's not blocking this little white shelf right here, right? And so I just love that. Actually, when I'm working with my printer here, I'll set my computer here, or actually pull this box out and set my computer on top of that. And so I have like kind of like something to prop up my laptop, right? Oh, and I'm noticing here, like this space right here behind the couch, in front of my little planner center is where I store my foam board for taking photos and doing my filming. And so this printer, I love this thing. It has gotten me through lots of tough times. You can see there's still tape on here because I taped it down so it wouldn't break during like a move. And I really just didn't even untape it. I just cut it so that way I could use it. And so it stopped working recently, which made me so sad because I really love this printer. I do have it here still though because I use it as a scanner. And so it's here right with my planner stuff because I do a lot of scanning. I like to make sure that I have a copy of just different like files, letters, mail, things like that. And so I'll scan it and pretty much leave it here so that way once I scan, I can store it into basically my home binder, which is like scan, reach up there, grab my home binder, the black discs right there, and just stick it in there, right? So that's just kind of how it operates. And then the rest of this is just planner accessories. And so let me kind of just pull the drawers out to show you. I'll say that I got this off of Amazon. It's not an in-store purchase, although I do have similar storage drawer systems from Michaels. So this drawer right here, the top three right here, are the same size as the tin storage drawer from Recollections that you can get from Michaels. And these bottom two drawers, these bottom four actually, are the same size as the 5 storage drawers that you can get, cards that you can get from Recollections at Michaels. And so this is kind of the same style and the same setup, same size even, in terms of drawers. But this is just like a double one with, like, it's not quite as high because this really is only, I think it's an 8. It would be an 8 drawer. And so the 10 drawer would sit pretty much up to the printer. So anyway, I did order that from Amazon. I will link it so that way you can see it. But the one this particular one, I think is no longer available. But you can find very similar styles to this one on Amazon. Right. So this left side, this first drawer right here, I showed you my sticker storage book. These are all the stickers that are like loose random stickers that I want to eventually get into my storage book. And it's just a bunch of random stickers, right? So that's that drawer, just stickers. This one, I don't even know. It's just a hot mess, right? So it's going to be like index cards. It's like, I consider it kind of like a project drawer. So it has paper of things that I'm wanting to work in the future into like various projects or various videos. And it's mostly list pads and then some project paper. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I could put some of my other list pads in this other drawer in there and combine those two. All right, this one it's pretty much an empty drawer. What I use this drawer for is basically storing like old planner pages. I don't, again, like I don't keep my actual personal planner. And so I use this drawer just to kind of store it just in case I need to reference something like from like February or something like that in May. And so I'll store it in there just for a little while. Then this one is going to be a little bit harder for me to get. So you can see like I did something a little bit strange, and I have these drawers upside down, and the reason for that is I didn't want to actually like not put the drawers in here, but if you open this drawer, it will be, you can see it will be basically this entire drawer is all dividers. Oops, I think I might have actually just like dropped it off its railings a little bit. All right, so these drawers are like super heavy because it's full of like dividers. You can see here it's just like a ton of dividers, right? And so I certainly can just like leave it like this and still use this drawer and just slide it back on its railings. But I like the dividers to sit, you know, pretty much straight up. So I just, instead of like having it be like in there with like this gap here, I just cover it like a lid, just sitting right on top. So that way at first glance you can, at first glance it looks like it's, you know, a full set of drawers. So anyway, this drawer, all dividers. Okay, I won't be able to get it back on just one-handed. All right, so I'll just leave the top off for right now. But anyway, those are all just dividers. All right, let's go back up here. So this, again, this is like right at the top. This is the right-hand side. This is the drawer with all of my list pads and the sticky notes that I put into the sticky note little book that I showed you earlier that's in the magazine file, right? And so these are all the duplicates. I have a video up with like how I kind of like put together the sticky note system. It's basically, you know, I just take a couple of sheets from each of these and put them into the book. And so these are all the duplicates, like all the extra sticky notes that I have are way in the back. And then I have list pads here. And again, now that I see this plus this drawer, I can combine these two because they're basically like paper. So I might, even after this video, I might like combine those. All right, this one is the other sticky notes drawer, and this drawer are all the sticky notes that didn't go into the sticky note binder system on like the dividers. So these are just like standard like 3x3s or like what all the standard sizes of sticky notes. Most of these don't have designs on them, and so they're just kind of like blank sticky notes. I love using sticky notes. Don't know why I have so many, but I do love sticky notes. So that's that drawer. And these sticky notes kind of have to sit at an angle so that way it can close, right? This drawer are all of the inspiration cards and then all of the scrap papers, like all the not 12 by 12 scrapbook papers that I have. So like there's this one pad that I have in here, plus like scrapbook papers that have been used, right? So like, again, there's a bunch of inspo cards in there, but like these little scraps of scrapbook paper that I've cut down at some point, I'll stick in here so that way it can kind of all be here. And so that's that drawer. Okay, so that's that drawer. This drawer, again, the lid is flipped upside down. I'll probably not be able to do this, but basically this drawer is all of my filler paper. And this is all my classic size filler paper. Let me just pull it out. So this is all of my classic size filler paper. I actually don't own any big size filler paper, and then all of the mini size filler paper is in that one box with all the mini and micro stuff. And so this is basically just classic. You can see here I have all the classic like full size sheets in the back, and then like the half size sheets I have in the front. And they are just, they're not in really any in particular order, but I do store them with the punched side up so that way it doesn't bend or like get damaged quite as much. Here are all of my daily sheets that I I initially had these bound, like, I'm sorry, not bound, but like on discs and sitting on the shelf. But then I was just like, I mean, I'm leaving like this much paper on like 4 different volumes. So I decided to go ahead and pull it down and put it like this. And I actually love this. I really love having kind of this setup. I posted a picture of this on Instagram and people were just like, just super excited about, like, I mean, it just looks so gorgeous, I think, like this, right? I just cannot use this much paper. There's so much paper. But this is how I store it. This is really all of the classic paper that I have. I really love that. And one of the things that I do is, again, put the lid on like this. But one of the things that I do as soon as I buy a planner or as soon as I buy a notebook of any sort, I basically take it off the rings, put the cover into my cover box that's at the very top on my planner center in one of those 2 black boxes. And then I put the dividers here and the paper in this box, right? So I do pretty much immediately break things down so that way the discs go in the disc spot, the covers go with the other covers, the dividers go here with other dividers, and then the paper goes here. And so that way I can just store them together. I don't necessarily, like when I'm planning, I don't necessarily need to say, oh, I'm looking for that specific notebook with that specific cover. I'm really just looking for paper. And so storing it this way with all the paper together like this, I can just say, oh, I'm looking for a specific style of paper, and I can kind of flip through and find dot grid or find lined paper, or, I know I have my daily pages back here, and so I can just get the sheet that I need as I need to use it. So instead of flipping through multiple notebooks, I can just have all the paper here at one spot. Okay, and so that goes here with its lid. And then these last 2, I skipped this one and this one. So these 2 are pretty much the same. This one are my stickers. These 2 both actually are stickers. Oops, again, I dropped it off the railings. Like, this is not for the faint of heart because they do slide off the rails. It is very, very heavy with all the paper. Usually I do it with 2 hands, but with the camera I can't do that. And so I do have it organized. Basically, these are all of the sheets that I have that I plan to use. Like, I'm going to use like 1,000 sheets of paper. But basically what I do is anytime I buy a sticker book, and when I purchase a sticker book, it goes into a separate space. And then once I start using the sticker book, as soon as I use a sheet, I basically take the sheet out of the book. And I'll every once in a while just go through all of my sticker books and pull any sheets that I've used stickers out of. And then once I use a sheet, I basically categorize it. And so the categories are pretty straightforward, I think. But basically I have alphabet stickers, which are the very first thing here, dates, bullets, which are like little icons like this, flags, which look like this or look like the old school style like this. Then I have seasonal, and then each specific season, spring, summer, fall, winter. And then in the back, a little bit further, I have abstract, animals, baby, which are of course all the baby stickers from like baby girl, baby boy, pregnancy, and then budget, faith, and fitness, which is in this drawer. All right, then in this drawer, it's just alphabetical. So I started off with florals, which I think is perfect because I pull florals a lot, right? So there are florals, food, house, which is like household icons, and then like things related to chores and mom life type stuff. So I have a lot of super mom stuff in here. A lot of the super mom font with like the different words are in here. Icons, which are like just tiny pictures. That's kind of what I call icons. Then I have nature, which are all the things that are not floral, not animals, right? Just everything else. So that's that. Quotes, these are clear quotes, generally speaking. Then I have school, lots of school stuff related to like from the student and teacher. I just don't use a lot of them, so I don't have a huge section there. Then social. Social is the one category where I feel like that might need some explanation. It's basically like date night, when I get together with like girlfriends. So there's like girls night out type stuff. My glam girl stuff is in here. Daydreamer, a lot of the daydreamer stuff ends up in here. But things like when I leave the house to run like glam errands, like lashes, those are all kind of in here in social. So again, glam girl, a lot of glam girl ends up in here. Right, and so that's that. Sports, travel, washi. These are washi stickers. Right, so that's there. And then boxes. These are colorful boxes, but I also have a lot of productivity boxes that look like this. Then decorative or like decorative quotes boxes. These are like the boxier, like usually paper quotes. So that's there. And then headings. Headings are pretty much all the labels, like weekend, to do. All right, I saw this a little bit earlier, but this one has some household, like grocery list and chores, but also like some things that are not household related. So I stuck it in headings. So headings, and then sets, which is my phrase for miscellaneous. So these are all the sheets that have like a coordinated style, but aren't necessarily like one specific thing or another. So they're like, they come in sets. Right, so color story, a lot of color story ends up back there. All right, and that's that setup for stickers. This is my filming and recording area. I don't actually plan in here, typically speaking, unless I am filming, but I have my laptop, which I use every day for work, obviously, but also just to do filming and editing type stuff. This computer has been back here, and I can use it, but it is not as fast as my laptop, so I generally speaking just use my laptop. And then here's my setup for filming. I usually carry in that whiteboard, the foam board that's tucked right in front of my planner center. I just carry it in with me whenever I need to film and lay it right on my desk, and that's my light. And this box holds my phone. Let me just show you what this looks like. I had to kind of like set this up myself because my phone holder broke. And so this is like, I set my phone here with the camera kind of like facing downward, and this one just holds it so that way it doesn't slide around, although it doesn't really slide anyway. But this is kind of how I have it set up, so that way I can just record. So now that you know, that's my setup. And I share this room with, this is the nursery. This is actually where my toddler sleeps. So this is her bedroom. And I just have this one little space that's dedicated to my filming, and eventually she's going to take over even this spot. And so that's that. Oh, I'll just go ahead and show you also, like, this is pretty much like all of my electronics. Like, here's my actual printer that still works, my microphone that I use for work and for filming sometimes, but mostly for work, and then like shredder, computer, filming area. What I'm showing you now is basically all of my craft supplies, and my craft supplies have to be stored in a separate area. This is not the nursery. This is not in the common area in my living room where my planner center is. This is essentially in the guest room. And these bookshelves are old bookshelves that don't match anything. But I didn't want to purchase new bookshelves just to store craft supplies. And so my hope is to eventually take all of the craft supplies and store them in a storage cart of some sort. But for right now, I have this shelf, which is the majority of my craft supplies. And I'll show you the second shelf, which is literally symmetrical, mirrored on the other side. Okay, so you see at the very top are basically like canvases and an art set that I've pretty much never opened. I got that for a Christmas gift and have never done anything with it, so that's that. Right underneath in this top shelf, I have these bins. You'll see that I use this bin. Like, I have several of them that I've used. I purchased these from the Dollar Tree. They are not super sturdy. You can see it's like not super sturdy. But this bin holds punches. This punch actually usually sits in there, but I have this set outside just because since I wasn't using the space for anything, it's fine just sitting out. But the rest of this are like just all sorts of punches. I have like my corner rounder, which I guess I can sit out here too. And then I also have in here like scissors, like old craft scissors, like to make fancy designs, which I have never used. My sister gave me that. All right, so just basically like punches and scissors are in this bin. All right, and then going down to this shelf, which I can reach a little bit easier. This is like paints. So we'll have like spray paint, watercolor. There are like finger paints for like the baby. And like just some painting supplies. There are paint brushes in there, I'm sure. And then like just craft paint, acrylic paints, things like that. All right, so that's in this bin. In between is, oh, this is normally where I keep my button, my sewing kit. So it has like these buttons are a little bit too big for the sewing kit box that I have. And then I don't know where my box is, but normally it sits right here in between the bins. And then this one are all of my calligraphy supplies. So it's like ink. Oh, there it is right there. This kit normally sits right here. Okay. So this are just like inks, right? And some calligraphy pens, which I have really never used. And so that's in there. Then going down, this stuff right here are stencils, right? So I have a couple that are like Happy Planner stencils, like this bag right here. Happy Planner stencils are in there. I thought I saw it. Yeah, it is. There is one right there. It's hard to see. But then I have some other stencils from when I was doing bullet journaling. So here's the Happy Planner one, but I have these other stencils that I used when I was bullet journaling to draw boxes and some other things. And then underneath that are all of my stamping supplies. So I have like letters and ink pads, that kind of thing. Glitter, I have just the one container of like purple glitter. And then this goes down here. Right, so here, this bag right here is washi. It actually should be somewhere else, so I'm going to move that in the video. And then here are all of my tapes and adhesives. So I have like Velcro and like my glue gun and Mod Podge. So basically like taping and gluing type stuff goes in this bin. Down here in this, on this second to bottom shelf, are like ribbons and tulle. So that's there. This is felt. This is this is a starter kit, vinyl kit for my silhouette machine, which again, I've never even opened this, right? And then down here, I showed you earlier, like where I have those drawers of like list pads and paper. So those were all the tinier ones. And these were all like composition notebooks, or like a little bigger in size. All of the stuff that would be a little bit bigger and maybe would take up too much space in those drawers. I also have here like some old like planners that I don't use, right? And then I have this one random big deluxe cover, which I've again never used big. So my sister gave me this and I didn't know where to put it, so I put it here. And so I need to do something with this. Again, I would like to get rid of it. I would like to get rid of the entire setup over here and basically convert it to storage drawers. But for right now, I can't do anything with it. So like some of these things, like this stuff right here, I have been slowly just kind of cutting down and putting into Sophia's art journal. And so that's kind of the goal, is to eventually get them into my planner area, which was the first half of this video, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do with that stuff. Okay, so I showed you the left side, the bookshelf that was on the left side, and basically I have the same bookshelf just on the right side. And most of this is actually not crafting stuff. I have, you can see here, like 2 shelves of just candles, but then this shelf right here are all of my card making supplies. So I have here like just blank note cards, some of the, no, I don't know if there are any Happy Planner note cards, but like the stuff from the Be Happy, the latest Be Happy box, the Wild Style, Stay Wild, whatever the box is called, those note cards will eventually go in here. So this is just kind of where I have all of my note cards. And so all of this is like this bin right here is specifically Christmas cards, right? So I have Christmas cards, like just random, like all occasion cards. They're actually organized. It doesn't quite look like it because of this stack of papers right here. But they are organized in here by category. And so you'll see them, they're kind of like these cards right here. So these are all friendship cards in that little stash. All right, and then I have all occasion cards, and then birthdays is one of these sections. I think this one right here. All right, so I have a little stash of each, and it is organized. It might not look like it, but it is. All right, and then this stuff is the stuff that's not organized, and it's just sitting right on top to be organized. All right, then here is where it's like an entire shelf, right? So this is like 30 years worth, I think. I don't even know, but like a ridiculous amount. But these are all of my outdated guts, or they're not all outdated, but basically mostly outdated. I mean, I stored them by categories. So again, the first thing I do basically when I get a new planner or a notebook is take it off the discs, take the cover off, and store dividers separately. And then if it's like a notebook with filler paper, the filler paper goes into that drawer. But if it's a planner, the planner pages go here. So basically, like these are all vertical layout right here. Then I have like this little bag that separates it. And so I have dated vertical. This is undated vertical. Dated vertical, horizontal. I think these are probably dashboard. All right, I can't tell. No, these are monthly layouts. So these are the monthly layouts. Then this must be dashboard. Then I have a little set of, I should like actually label these. No, these are dashboard. So I'm not really sure, but anyway, they are categorized. And they're separated by these little baggies. And so like I have a gigantic section here. You can see this section. These are all the student layouts because I went nutso and bought like all of those planners for the Target Deluxe student planners just to get those rings. And so I ended up with a ton of planners for those, since I'm not going to be using like 9 of the exact same planner, right? And so they're organized by category. They really are. And so that's there. And then underneath that are these two shelves. You can kind of see them peeking out here behind this chair. But basically, those are all of my music sheets for the choirs that I sing in. So the music is right there, unrelated to planner stuff. I'm going to shift around a little bit. And right here, at this point, I feel like everything is organized. Here is where the disorganization kind of comes in. It's still kind of organized, but not really. And so this box are envelopes for things that, like when I mail out sticker sheets, these are the envelopes that I mail them in. And then I have, again, more stickers, right, that I was storing in this system, but I eventually will like to get rid of this system. And I'll show you the box that goes in. It's down there. But then I have like these 2 things of washi. And these are the washies that I have not yet moved into the washi book that I showed you earlier. And so as soon as I like wrap them onto the washi board, I'll store them in a separate spot, which I'll show you in just a second. And then this box at the very, very bottom, I can't do that with like just the one hand. So this box at the very bottom are like, again, like this goes in there, right? So this box is a Michael's photo box. And I actually really loved this system, but it's just too bulky. I can't carry that around with me. So it's so much easier to have it in the sticker book as I have it set up. And so eventually the goal is to eventually get all of these stickers transferred to that sticker book. I just don't have enough room in the sticker books right now. I might eventually just split the sticker book into 2 and have 2 sticker books with all of these stickers on it. But again, that's a project. And so I haven't done that quite yet. So that's there. This box right here stores all of my excess ink and paper for my printer. So that's my like little printer box, right? And so that's that setup. If we move up here, this little area is like my mailing center. And so I showed you the box earlier of like envelopes. Those are the overflow, like excess envelopes. This is the stack of envelopes in that box. I just haven't found a place to store those. And so I have other envelopes. I have this little thing of like, when I do orders, I usually just write it on a sticky note. And then once I complete the order, I just stick it here. Haven't done any orders recently, so that's kind of where that is. I have stamps in there. I have markers and pens on this other side. This little tote right here used to be my my planner tote, so I converted it to be my little mailing thing. All right, so I have some pens, like tweezers. I don't really know why, for mailing. But then my stamp for stamping stuff, all right, basically my return address, right? And then here, this drawer little set thing is actually a dresser drawer for clothes, which doesn't hold any clothes because this is our guest room. And so this drawer was sitting empty for years and years and years, and I finally just decided to store like old stuff in here. And it's kind of embarrassing to show you this stuff, but basically these top 2 drawers, just junk. All right, stuff I haven't actually organized. It just kind of goes in here. Again, I purchased like a bunch of the Be Happy box, the social type one, because I love those discs. And so I have an idea project for those discs. I did this before, like my quote unquote minimal move, but I don't know that I've ever been minimalist in my life, right? This drawer, more junk. Again, mostly Be Happy box stuff, but it's like tissue paper and like these larger sticker sheets that I don't really know what to do with, right? And so that's in there. I'm not going to dig through all that, but basically it's mostly Be Happy stuff. In fact, I know that drawer is all Be Happy stuff. This drawer has some Be Happy stuff, like the mugs are over there. If I ever broke a mug, I would be totally okay because I still have several. And then I have the washi that I have already rolled onto the rolls for my washi book. And so this is like this is an actual washi box that I got from Michael's, and pretty much that's all the washi that I've been able to make through the rolling. And I still have this box, that little box that actually goes in here, and then that little blue scrapbook box back there. There's a lot of washi. Okay, so that's that. And then underneath that is these are sticker scrapbook paper pads. And what I did was I showed you earlier where I store like the full sheets of sticker pads. These pads right here are all the duplicate sheets. So you know how some pads like have 2 of each sheet, each design. I just pulled 1 of each design and put it in my planner center, and here's the duplicate. So if I ever needed, like if I ever used one and needed the other, it would be in here. So that's what is stored right there in terms of scrapbook paper. And eventually the goal is just to have like kind of duplicate or overflow type stuff in this section. Well, eventually the goal is to get it all into the planner area, to use it all up, but that's not going to happen. All right, and then this very last drawer, right, you're going to like probably cry. But basically, these are all of my extra stickers. All right, I can't even open this drawer. It's so heavy, right? So I kind of have to like gently open it. And these are all just like extra sticker sheets, right? So all of this is supposed to be in my planner storage drawer that I showed you earlier, but these are not. So these sheets, you can see, I have not used, and so they're like full sheets. One of my goals is maybe just to sell everything in here, because they're all unused sheets at this point. But I mean, if I can use all of these stickers, that would be nice. But I'd have to use like 10,000 stickers per spread, right? And so that is all. Now, you probably think I'm crazy, but I feel like it's super organized, and it makes me happy to have it all organized like that. And I hope you enjoyed this tour of all of my planner areas. And one of the things, again, that you probably got from this is I just don't have a dedicated planner area, so I have to store things kind of piecemeal in different areas of my house. But I like it, and it makes sense to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video.